So what can we look forward to next then? We got that out of the way. Like what are you guys working on? What's like what yeah.
Well, the sort of the high level roadmap is to get to kind of having fully decentralized, permissionless, open source perps. And there are a couple of steps needed to get there. Namely, an extension to our automated market maker, so that you can create we call it TCL, which allows you to create liquidity within a range of units or big three. And then on top of that, we will build a more sophisticated automated market making protocol called DCL, which uses Oracle prices. And PM will go into this in much more detail. But that is a prerequisite because that's the kind of AMM strategy that you'll want to deploy if you want to deploy liquidity into a perps market. If you're not a sophisticated market maker, you can't be there writing bots and having them replace orders. So that's the prerequisite to that. But then we'll roll out perps, and it's a new model of perps, which doesn't have a funding rate. Is the bottom line. Every other perps market is it's isolated and siloed. Right, they Hyperliquid or whoever, they build perps first and then they introduce spot markets afterwards. Whereas we come at this from the opposite direction, and so instead of relying on third-party funding rate arbitrage to stabilize the price of your perps market, we'll have basically what's called funding markets, where you cash out your winnings in perps USDC into real USDC. And as those markets dislocate, it's the equivalent of a funding rate on a perps market. And all of that volume, so people cashing in, cashing out, winning, losing, all that activity, which is typically 10 times the volume that you see on spot, is going to be stabilized by the spot market through THORChain and stabilized by the flows through THORChain, which is quite new and quite unique, I think.